All right, Frazer Anderson here with Ned and Cam from rumored unicorn Aaru. Maybe you two can introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hi, my name is Ned Koh. I'm one of the co-founders of Aaru and recently just turned 21 3 days ago, so that's been really, really
I
fun.
can't wait to buy your first drink.
Of course,
Will
of
be your
course.
first.
I'm Cam. I'm 20. I'm one of the co-founders of Aaru as well. Ned and I met first day, first class, freshman year of high school, and unfortunately, we've been stuck together ever since.
Yeah, we use multi-agent systems to simulate human behavior at scale. We are the most accurate in the world at predicting elections and use the same technology to do some really cool stuff across simulating, what types of cans people want on their soda or what they're willing to pay for a thing of chicken nuggets, but also do some other really cool work like set policy and help out with public sector aspects as well. It's been really, really fun. Last year we came here, we were a bit of a smaller business,
Yep.
and a lot has changed since.
Yeah. Well, we've had the great pleasure of being investors in Aaru since the very early days. I think most people are probably familiar with the kind of like Mark Zuckerberg maybe dropping out of college after a few years, best friends getting together, building well in college. But you guys, I think made it through a week of Harvard before you dropped out. So curious what the dynamic has been like between the two of you. You've known each other for so long. Did you start building businesses when you were in high school? How did you think about it? Were you always a bit odd in that way? But talk about the relationship and the evolution.
Yeah, I'll say I was at Harvard for 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
And Cam was there for one night in the
Yeah.
university. So you get the numbers, they average out to be similar. COVID was our freshman year of high school. And so we started out very early on screwing around with computers. Cam, I don't know if you want to reflect on some of what that originally looked like.
Yeah, I mean, we were the kids who used to DDoS the school in order to avoid turning in our homework on time. So in terms of were we weird in high school, I don't know if I'm the best primary source for that, but I'll say yes, almost certainly. But we also built a number of really cool businesses together previously. We had worked in biotech, we were researchers together working on quantitative political science and AI/ML. We built an image upscaling business at one point. And we were about to actually sell one of our previous businesses when we met John, our third co-founder, who, as you may know, Fraser, is actually 17.
Yeah. He's the real American.
And that was the moment where it was like, screw everything else we've ever done in our lives. Aaru is what we have to do.
So one theme that I think, especially in the venture community, you see is I think there are a lot of folks who wisely at this point say, I'm not going to build a new foundation model. I'm not going to build a new LLM. It's too hard. It requires too much compute. But so there are a lot of folks that are saying, well, I'm just going to build technology that benefits from the proliferation of LLMs or better and better LLMs. But very few people do. A lot of people build thin wrappers. If the market is niche enough, they can build a successful business. I would say you two have maybe more than any other group of technologists I've met sort of just been surfing this wave, and the wave just seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of the tools available to you to do what you do and build what you build. Can you talk about how you envision the business and how the changes in some of the underlying technologies that you're allowed to leverage, aside from the stuff the two of you cook up internally, has changed the business capability? Is it surreal how much it's altered the path? Is it surreal how much it's improved your ability to serve customers?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll say here is I wish our company could be a GPT wrapper.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those models, they can't be racist. They can't be sexist. They can't be homophobic. They can't be violent. Like, these things are all terrible, but they're human, right? And if we're going to simulate human behavior, whether it's talking about buying products or who you're going to vote for, you need to be able to represent the full range of what humans are capable of doing. And so traditional models off the shelf just simply don't work. If you want to talk a bit about how we solve that.
Yeah, I mean, every single advancement in language models that are available or in broad artificial intelligence technology benefits us because we can leverage those advancements in order to get more accurate at predicting human behavior, while actually making those off-the-shelf models worse at predicting human behavior and replicating the job that we do. And so you have this really interesting dichotomy where advancements can be really beneficial to us, but in the same way, it actually makes our technology harder and harder to build because it becomes more and more of a moving target. And so as we look out over the next few years of where our work is headed, it's not just about let's go predict human behavior in one situation or in 3 situations chained together or over the course of the day. It's let's go predict human behavior over the course of a month, a year, right? Hopefully soon a decade. Let's predict the actions of organizations that have historically been even harder to predict and couple those together alongside, really incredible super forecasting technology. And that's how you actually predict the future.
Tremendous. Well, you two are the couple of the most precocious people I've ever met. One thing to read, one thing to learn about for anybody else that's influenced the way you think, the way you approach the world, the way you approach business.
Read the Financial Times every single day on paper, the broadsheet. It's pink. Look for it.
Good call. Agree with that entirely. We do it every day over breakfast. I would say less than reading. This is actually a negative thing. I would say don't listen to other founders. This is like a super, super rare thing. We're a business. We're based in New York, right? A lot of people are like, you're not surrounded by the tech ecosystem. I think a lot of the reason why a lot of startups today are kind of stuck in the mud is because they're looking at people who are struggling with the same problems. And as much as that's good to understand community from it, we should be looking at the people who've solved these problems before, right? Spending a lot of time with some of the biggest leaders on the planet. I mean, that's why we're in Davos, right? So I think it's less of something specific to read and more of something to not specifically pay attention to. Get out of your own head, get out of the tech ecosystem, get off X and Twitter, and spend your time looking at businesses that have been actually built. So whether that's finding an NFT or otherwise, that's my advice on that front.
Love that. All right, guys, thank you so much, and
Really appreciate it,
it's going to be
Frazer.
a great week.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you for
having
having us, Frazer.
Yeah.